Have you paid for a loan yet with the NOI?
No. No. That's what I heard. She was trying to borrow money to go grab something to eat. So people are under this perception that July 1st, NIL goes in, and now all the kids do is sit around their apartment, and people just come in and give them checks.
What's your thought on it all? Like, Dallas Sweeney's threatening to retire because he doesn't want college getting paid. Your overall thoughts?
I don't have a problem with them having an opportunity to have what essentially comes down to a part-time job. So they go to school, they come to practice, and then they have a part-time job. Whether that part-time job is after practice, or it's in the summer, or weekends during the preseason. I don't know, but I've had plenty of players through the years that I've been here that played here, and also have part-time jobs to make some money. So to me, that's the exact same thing.
Are you concerned that the next time you're in the living room with a recruit and the parents that there's going to be an agent sitting at the table having conversations with you about what?
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'll happen. And I'll be able to tell the agent right up front. One of three things is going on here. Either you, this kid, or these parents, or all three of you are delusional if you think you're going to make a lot of money. Or there may be a kid that I could say, listen, there's going to be a ton of opportunities for you guys. And, you want to handle this the right way. I asked Paige the other day, I said, you know how long this is going to last, right? She goes, yeah. You know what makes this go away? She goes, yeah, if I suck. I said, correct. So the number one thing is still, you better be good at basketball, or none of these opportunities come along. So it's just another thing you gotta talk to them about. It's another thing you have to be diligent about. It's a shame that they're, 18 years old, 19 years old, and they have to pick an agent. That just doesn't sound right. But there's 17 and 18-year-olds on the LPGA tour playing tennis professionally or playing soccer professionally. So it's not like there's no precedent for this. It's just the world that they live in. And if we want to be in that world, we have to figure out a way to navigate it.
Is that one more thing you're going to have to learn how to do, though? Because the players are going to come to you and ask you your advice on, should I go with this guy, should I do this?
Well, the policy is very clear. I'm not involved. I'm not telling you, don't sign with this person, make sure you sign with that person. There have been instances where players have signed contracts, they've been screwed in some ways, and they come back and they blame the person who told them to sign. Say it's your fault, so I'm suing you. So I'm not in that part of the world. I can guide them to stay away from things that will get them in trouble, whether it's with university policy, state of Connecticut policy, NCAA policy, any things that affect eligibility or whatever, I can help them with that. I can't dictate to them who to do business with. They have it spelled out for them exactly what types of businesses they cannot get involved in. So it's a whole new world.
How do you keep it from creeping in, to the team dynamic, where one kid's maybe looking to score more points, more popular social media,
Well,
that kind of
the other perception out there is that every single kid on your team is going to get a ton of offers to make money. And that's just not true. On any team. On any team. The guys that play on the Lakers know LeBron makes X and Anthony Davis makes Y. And everybody else makes some other letter, but it ain't X or Y. And it's a job, and they know this is how I get compensated for what I do. But those are adults. Those are adults. Those are men. Now you're asking, 18-year-olds, do you understand that there's no demand for you? And there's a lot of demand for her. Or these three and none for you. That's not created by me. That's the beauty of it. None of it's created by me. Playing time, that's a different issue. You want to argue that? But I don't see how you can keep it out of the locker room, keep it out of your team dynamics. So, all these people that were up in arms about make sure players can get paid and all this, it's all well and good. That's great. Don't be complaining when your favorite team falls apart. Those 5 guys are transferring because they don't like the fact that 5 other guys are getting a lot of money. There's a lot of unintended consequences that come from this. A lot of good, too. A lot of good. Again, I go back to, if you're a kid going to school here and you see, a 17-year-old swimmer able to capitalize on some things, or a golfer or a tennis player or somebody, a baseball player who's already in the majors at 18, say, well, they don't go to school, they're pros. Tell me what kid playing at this level doesn't put in as much time as any professional athlete.
How's summer session going?
It's going good. I'm pleasantly surprised at the level of work that they put in, both in the weight room, with their strength and conditioning, with all the drills and everything that we've done on the court. I was just talking to a couple of them previously, and the improvement from June 1st to today has been significant. You can see it in pretty much every play. Every play. And it's only going to get better. And just because you were something last year doesn't mean you're going to be the exact same thing this year. And that part is exciting. And I can see it already. It's already evident in every competitive situation that we have out there. It's a different vibe.
What would you say is the last time you had such a competitive going into the season?
Maybe when Stewie was like a freshman, when we still had Steph, Bria, and Kelly, and Kalina, and Kia Stokes, and Stewie, Tuck, Mariah. Maybe back then. Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Another had a few weeks actually with the Daisy player potential, just sort of a person.
I think most of it is what I expected, you know. She's very quiet, very much introverted. Really doesn't say a whole lot. But her game is much older than her age. Her footwork is the kind of footwork that you would expect from someone going into the pros, someone who has spent 3 or 4 years perfecting that. That's how good her footwork is. And her ability to get shots off, and the way the shot comes off every single time, the exact same way. I mean, I knew it, but when you watch it on a regular basis, it's pretty amazing. And she's a lot stronger than I realized, because I had never spent that much time that close. So it's been fun watching it. It's been a lot of fun watching it.
Have you given any advice to Aaliyah ahead of the Olympics, and have you been in touch with the 5 players on Team USA as well?
Other than, congratulations, and it's hard to give Aaliyah and Kia Nurse a lot of advice, other than pray the U.S. loses before you have to play them. But I think for Aaliyah, this is a huge step in her development. She's the youngest player on the team, and I know that was one of her major goals. I couldn't be happier for her. I think she's going to be. She has the body, and she has the mentality and the toughness to be on that level with those players. I don't know that she has the experience. I don't know that she has the subtleties that come from playing against 30-some-year-olds. But that'll come. And I'm waiting to see the French team announcement, whether Gabby and Maria Hartley are on that team.
Geno, in your role as a special advisor, how much were you involved in anything as far as picking the team? I have to ask from above, like this, that, a lot of people thought never should have made the team. What you thought of
If it was a committee of one, which it isn't, then I would answer every question and say, all right, ask me why I did this, and I'll tell you why. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the committee is The committee is made up of 5 people. Former players, WNBA front office people, USA basketball people, 6 counting Dawn as the head coach is on the calls. What I find humorous was the 2 times I was the coach, it was UConn politics, UConn bias because of Geno Auriemma. And I was the coach. And Carol made a point to say, no, it was the committee that picked the team. Now I'm not the coach, and Geno Auriemma, and I'm on the committee. So I think there's a common thread there. Wherever I am, that's whose fault it is. If you don't like whoever's on the team. What I think what a lot of people don't realize is once you start putting a team together and you have certain picks, and if you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hey, those 6, they're good to go. Well, that's going to affect the next 6 picks. So you can't just put them all out there, one individually, and pick them out of the air. Once you put these 4 people on the team, now you better complement them with the right other people.
My other question is, who are you taking off?
That's always the question. That's always the question. You know? There are a lot of people that could have made that team. Matter of fact, when they played that All-Star game in Las Vegas against the national team, there's probably a lot of players on that other team that you would say, you know, they're good enough to be on the Olympic team, and they are. Now, remember in 2012 when we played a WNBA All-Star game at Mohegan Sun? It was the Olympic team versus the other 12. They came in and asked me at halftime to pull it because it was getting so embarrassing. Because the gap between these players and these players was so wide. Well, that gap's not there anymore. That gap's not that wide anymore. So there are more players today that are capable of being Olympians. So it's much harder to pick the team now than it's ever been.
You on the Canadian French committee too? Do you play that too?
No. I called Speta to see if I could pick the Russian team. She works, she's like the Carol Count of the Russian team. I can't pronounce some of their names, so I'm not allowed to say, yeah, number 12 should be on.
You know, the kids that you're saying, you can't just show up and be where you were last year. You have to, earn that spotlight. Are they embracing that?
Oh, yeah.
The practice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody comes every day knowing that whatever it is that I want, I'm going to have to work for it every day. And it starts in the weight room. Because every session starts there. So you have to perform at a real high level every day. If you want what they all want. They want to have an impact. And I've already had a couple of them say to me, look, Coach, obviously we know that some of us are not going to play the same amount of minutes as we played last year. Yeah, because we had guys playing 37, 38 minutes last year. So they know that's not going to happen. But I bet you there's probably a few games where they might play 37, 38 minutes.
You talked to Precedent and Woody about, let's go around. Is there a conversation with them?
Yeah, Kristen and Liv and E, the three of them. I think Kristen came out of that NCAA tournament with a different mindset, and she's really. This has been probably the hardest I've seen her go in all the time that she's been here, and Liv playing every day, working out with CD and Jamel, some great one-on-one battles with Durga and with some of our practice guys and Aubrey, and it's just been really, really good. It actually has given Liv a real jolt of confidence. She plays with so much more confidence right now. So hopefully, we can build on that the rest of the summer and in the fall.
People think of you amongst the championships, the elevation of the league. So, what is it you want people to think of when this is all said and done?
I mean, when I got here, I didn't think anything other than I want to do a great job. I just want to do a really good job coaching this team, building the program, and whatever happens, happens. And given what's happened in the last 37 some years, if I'm not coaching anymore, people say, hey, what was that all about? What did that mean? There's not another human being in the world that either gave any thought or could have imagined or could have foreseen any of this happening. So we created something bigger than anyone could ever imagine. And we did it right here in Storrs, Connecticut. So it's cool when you build something from scratch. And they can look up the stats, all the other stuff. But that part is. And if the people out there that compete against us, if they knew really what went into all this, they would appreciate us even more. They still want to beat our ass, and I don't blame them. It's their job. But I think some stop bitching and moaning about who we are and embrace who we are for what we've done. We've done a lot for a lot of programs, and we've done a lot for a lot of coaches.
You extended South Carolina and Tennessee and adding North Carolina State not this season, but the coming season, just the thoughts on the schedule.
Yeah, scheduling is always an evolving thing, Sometimes games are easy to fill out, and sometimes they're hard as hell. Neil does an amazing job building relationships with other universities to put games together. And we're really going to miss Carol Stiff at ESPN, because she was a big help in putting a lot of these games together for a lot of schools. So the schedule's going to be really, really good every year. Some years much more daunting than others. But I think our fans have come to expect that.
But it's also good because we've seen years that people wouldn't play because
Yeah.
they wouldn't be really good.
Yeah, there was a lot of time. There was a lot when we couldn't get games because people didn't want to play. But I think we solved that problem a little bit. Now we go right to the ADs. Say, your coach is being a little bit short-sighted now wanting to play us. Because when we come down to your place, you're going to sell out. And then usually the game gets scheduled.
Do you know talk to Shay at all?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. She's got her hands full, as you can imagine. But, Shay, she's single-minded like this. So I'll see her next week on the road recruiting. I'm sure she'll be shed.
Are you worried about the whole NIL thing? Does it create all of a sudden 100 more things for you to do, or do you just kind of take it as it comes, or does it create some problems, what possible violations and stuff like that?
No. The problems that we have now are problems we didn't create as coaches or as players. So the state of Connecticut just signed a law yesterday. We're always way ahead of things, right? We're always right on top of things. So we actually got it done before midnight, so we were way ahead of the games. The university has a policy, and the NCAA has a policy. So there's a lot to. If I go to one state, maybe the law is written that I can do this. And I go to another state, maybe the law is written that I can't do that. And then you say, well, what's the NCAA say? So it doesn't matter. Whatever the states say supersedes the NCAA. So if we only have one set of rules, it would make our life easier for sure. But right now we've got too many things to have to navigate.
On that subject, given the policies and rules are so convoluted, what support, if any, is your program planning to give players who are pursuing some of these side deals, or is that resting with the athletic department? Just what do you imagine that looking like moving forward?
The only support that the universities are allowed to give any of the athletes is to provide education to them about what you can and cannot do according to this law. So again, each state has their own law that's written in, and we hire a company that's going to meet with the teams here and lay out for all the kids, and send an email out to their parents as well. We laid out a long list of what the school can legally do, what the coaches can do, and what we can't do. And puts a lot of the onus on the kids. I don't know that people understand that. People don't understand that. So you got 18, 19-year-olds up there interviewing agents. Someone said to me, can you pick one for me? No. If I pick one and then you don't like it 3 years from now, you're going to like it. It's my fault. You know? Like one of your kids, Dad, can you pick somebody for me to marry? Yeah, sure. 3 years later, they're at your house going, why'd you do this to me? So they got to do something that they're not equipped to do. So all we can do is say, what advice can we give you? That's it. It's not even like an agent can call my office and say, hey, I want to set up a meeting with AZ or with Avina or with Liv or anybody. Oh yeah, come on, we'll have it in my office, next Tuesday. That didn't happen.